All right, Caitlin Clark fanatics, let's dive into the latest drama surrounding this WNBA superstar. First up, we've got some jaw-dropping stats about flagrant fouls against our girl Caitlin. Can you believe that 17% of the WNBA's flagrant fouls this season have been committed against Clark alone? That's right. Out of 30 total flagrants in the league, 5 of them were against CC. But hold on to your jerseys, because it gets even wilder. The Chicago Sky were responsible for 80% of those flagrants against Clark. Now, I've got to say, as someone who's been following Clark's journey, this is beyond ridiculous. It's like the Sky have made it their mission to take her down. But here's the thing. Our girl Caitlin isn't letting it faze her one bit. She's out there breaking ankles and dropping dimes like it's nobody's business. Let's break this down a bit more, shall we? We're talking about a rookie who's so good, so threatening to the competition, that teams are resorting to dirty tactics just to try and slow her down. The Chicago Sky in particular seem to have it out for Clark. In their last game alone, they committed 2 flagrant fouls against her, a reckless closeout and what's been described as a D-shield sideswipe. Add that to the body check from Kennedy Carter earlier in the season, and you've got a pattern that's impossible to ignore. Speaking of making statements, let's talk about Angel Reese's attempt to channel her inner Dennis Rodman. Picture this. Reese shows up to the arena rocking a backwards Rodman Pistons jersey, thinking she's about to intimidate Clark and the Fever. Spoiler alert, it didn't quite work out that way. I mean, come on, Angel. Wearing a Pistons jersey in Chicago? That's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. And to make matters worse, Clark absolutely dominated on the court. Talk about a fashion faux pas and a performance flop all in one. I've got to hand it to Caitlin, though. She let her game do all the talking. That's what I call true star power. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all for a bit of showmanship and personal style. But there's a time and a place, you know? And when you're trying to make a statement like that, you better be able to back it up on the court. Reese might have won the pregame fashion show, but Clark? She won the game. And isn't that what really matters? And the Clark hype train doesn't stop there. Even the king himself, LeBron James, couldn't resist jumping on board.
Don't get it twisted. Don't get up. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA.
LeBron tweeted out a simple but powerful message. Caitlin Clark, hi haters. Now, I don't know about you, but when LeBron James is shouting you out, you know you've made it big time. This isn't just any old social media shout out. We're talking about LeBron James here, arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. For him to take notice of Clark, to publicly praise her game, that's huge. It's a sign that Clark isn't just making waves in the WNBA, she's making an impact on basketball as a whole. And let's be real for a second. LeBron doesn't just throw praise around willy-nilly. He knows talent when he sees it. So for him to be this excited about Clark, that speaks volumes about her potential and her current level of play. But of course, with great praise comes great scrutiny. LeBron's tweet sparked a whole new level of debate online. Some fans were thrilled to see Clark getting the recognition she deserves. Others, well, they weren't so happy. But you know what? That's just part of being a star. And if the haters are talking, it usually means you're doing something right. Now, let's talk about why Clark is deserving of all this attention. Get this. She's taking and making deeper threes than some of the best shooters in the NBA. That's right, our rookie sensation is out here redefining what it means to have range. I'm talking logo shots that would make Steph Curry do a double take. We're not just talking about the occasional deep shot here. Clark is consistently pulling up from way downtown and draining these shots like it's nothing, which puts her right up there with the best shooters in the league. And get this, her average made three is from 27.75 feet out. And here's the thing, Clark isn't just a shooter, she's a complete player. She's averaging 18.7 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.6 rebounds per game. She's not just scoring, she's facilitating, she's rebounding, she's doing it all. But here's what really sets Caitlin apart, her humility. When asked about the Rookie of the Year race, Clark didn't take the bait. Instead, she said,
We both give you the same answer, like, you don't wake up and think about individual awards.
Now that's class, folks. In an era where trash talk and self-promotion are the norm, Clark's humility is refreshing. She's not out here trying to tear down her competition or boost her own ego. She's focused on the game, on improving, on helping her team win. And that kind of attitude? That's what turns good players into legends. Clark is showing that she's not just a phenomenal player, but a true professional both on and off the court. She's letting her game speak for itself, and boy, is it speaking volumes. But let's not forget the context here. Clark entered the WNBA with a ton of hype. She was a sensation in college, breaking records left and right. There were questions about how her game would translate to the pro level. Would she be able to handle the increased physicality? Would her shot hold up against better defenders? Well, I think it's safe to say she's answered those questions and then some. Clark hasn't just adapted to the WNBA, she's thriving. She's already one of the most exciting players to watch in the league, rookie or not. But perhaps most importantly, Clark is bringing new fans to the WNBA. People who might never have watched a women's basketball game before are tuning in just to see what Clark will do next. That's the mark of a true star, someone who can transcend their sport and capture the imagination of casual fans. The scary thing for the rest of the league? Clark is only going to get better. This is her rookie season, remember? As she gets more comfortable with the pace and physicality of the pro game, as she builds more chemistry with her teammates, she's going to be unstoppable. And let's talk about that Rookie of the Year race for a second. Is it even really a race at this point? But you know what's really impressive? The way Clark handles all this attention. The spotlight can be intense, especially for a young player. But Clark seems totally unfazed by it all. She's poised, she's articulate in interviews, and she always deflects praise back to her teammates and coaches. That kind of maturity is rare, especially in a rookie. Looking ahead, the sky's the limit for Clark. We could be witnessing the early stages of an all-time great career. Will she break more records? Almost certainly. Will she win MVP awards? It seems likely. Could she be the face of the WNBA for the next decade or more? I wouldn't bet against it. So what do you think? Are you Team Caitlin all the way? Or do you think Angel Reese still has a shot at that Rookie of the Year title? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more WNBA drama and highlights. Until next time, keep balling.